BBC Radio 2.
Hello, 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 and how do you do? How you been and whoop-de-doo? With a big fat western howdy, howdy, love evening to you. Come on, Sally Boo, salutations and greetings to you.
We present Cut Off at the Fringe, a collection of songs, sketches and monologues from the 1982 Edinburgh Fringe, featuring the Bouncing Czecks, Nick Revell, the Cambridge Footlights, Cantabile, Sheila Steafel, the National Revue Company, the Durham University Revue, Fry and Fundation.
Hiya, Frank.
Hello, Mom.
Hello, Joe. Hiya, Frank.
What's that?
What'd you say?
What's the time?
Have some fun. Hello, 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 hello.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, lads. Will all the shelf stackers please stop what they're doing and come round? Stop what they're doing and come round, all the shelf stackers. Right. There's a lot going wrong with the running of this supermarket at present. You, lad, will you come down off that shelf? And bring your sleeping bag with you. First point. The store detective. Now, you lads have been giving the store detective a very rough time recently. And she's very upset about it. So, when she comes back from the clinic, I hope you'll all go a bit easier on her. For example, when she picks up a tin of beans off the shelf and asks you the price of them, she's trying to pose as an ordinary customer. So you tell her the price. You don't stand back in mock astonishment and point at her flamboyantly saying, "What do you want to know for? You're the store detective." And if an ordinary customer comes into the store and asks you where a particular item is stocked on the shelves, take the easy way out. Don't say there's a little boy at the front of the store who'll be only too pleased to answer all your inquiries. I found an old lady on Tuesday afternoon stood 5 hours talking to the spastics collecting box. The Money Save own brand toilet paper is not moving very fast, is it, Ian? And I think we know the reason why, don't we, Ian? We bloody do, lads. The reason why is that every time somebody picks up a roll to buy it, you say, "Oh, don't buy that one, missus. Your fingers go through." Final point. Nosy. Now, I didn't like nosy any more than the rest of you. So I don't want to get into any complicated investigations as to what the quarrel was about or why you killed him. But leaving him in little polystyrene trays on top of the butcher's counter with this week's special offer written on his forehead is right out of order. For a start, he wasn't jointed properly. And he didn't have a sell-by date. Now get back to work!
Dear President Reagan, President Brezhnev too, we've a little message, so listen do.
If your urge to drop a nuclear bomb is really hot,
Then just go ahead and do it, but avoid one spot, we beg you.
don't drop the bomb on Edinburgh. Don't drop the bomb, we pray.
The bomb we pray. If you unleash your appliances, just think of what folk will say. Think what folk will say.
Festival life in Edinburgh is in a word unique.
The word unique. So if you drop the bomb on Edinburgh, you'll put culture back nearly a week. Oh, so we're praying, don't drop the bomb on Edinburgh. Hear our sincere advice. Think of the one not be nice? The people of happy Edinburgh could scarcely be happy lying dead. So please don't drop the bomb on Edinburgh. Drop it on Glasgow instead. Oh, Aberdeen.
Roger!
Gordon!
When did you get back from Ceylon?
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Your turn's still brown.
It was unbelievable.
I can believe it, yeah. Actually, I spent the vacation working in a factory.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it was amazing because there was a couple of black people there. Oh, they're great, yeah. And like, you know, in the evenings we used to go drinking and then one of them said, "What do you do?" "Oh, no!" So like really low-key, I said, "Actually, I'm at university." And then they said, "Which one?" Yeah.
Oh, that is awful. That is so embarrassing. I can't bear to tell them I'm at Cambridge, you know, because, like, they immediately think you're, like, really clever. So, I mean, you know, I just chicken out. I just say I'm at Oxford.
Well, no, I said Cambridge, and they said, "Really?"
Really?
Really?
Really, it was exactly like that in Ceylon.
Really?
Really, because, like, the conditions out there are just unreal, you know. But, I did get some mega fantastic photographs.
Black and white.
Sure, because colour is one-dimensional, you know.
Chiaroscuro, yeah.
But did you see Bailey at the National?
No, look, I really wanted to, but I was up at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Right.
Yeah. And it's amazing. It's like everybody wears clown makeup and does mine, you know. I mean, I couldn't do mine, so I just...
It doesn't matter, no one can up there. It's just fantastic. It's just like really fantastic fun, you know.
Yeah, I know, but another amazing thing is like every square inch of floor space up there is just littered with people crashing out. I mean, I was lucky I was in a hotel with my parents, but I mean, otherwise...
It was exactly like that in Ceylon, because, you know, like when I came back, I had total culture shock, and I could not relate to my parents at all.
Yeah, a friend of mine went to Sri Lanka and said that.
Yeah, I wanted to go there, but... Anyway, look, I've got to go, because I'm just going to go and have my nipple pierced.
Well,
well, it takes all sorts, doesn't it? I'm Sheila's Auntie Kitty, by the way. And Sheila's just been over to stay with me in South Africa on a little visit. And so I thought I'd come over and pay her a reciprocal visit. It's a sort of cultural swap. But, you know, while she was there in South Africa with me, she did do a tiny bit of interfering in the way I run my home. Well, in the way I run my black servant who runs my home. So I thought I'd give you British a little bit of advice as to how you should behave when you're in our wonderful country. All right? Now, if I was to invite you to come and stay with me, it's most unlikely. But if I did, you might be a tiny bit surprised at the lack of electrical gadgets I have to help with the housework around my home. Well, please don't go nagging at me to rush out and buy hoovers and washing machines and such like things. Not having them a sheer consideration on my part, believe me, it is. Because you see, these black people are very simple-minded. They don't understand electricity. They would only hurt themselves. They would, I mean, as far as they're concerned, a plug goes in the bath, a bulb goes in the garden, and that's that. No. I mean, that's why my girl Maisie has to use candles in her little room off our backyard. Because I don't want her hurting herself, electrocuting herself, or getting up too tired to work in the morning because she's been reading late. If she could read. But they love working with their hands, you know. They love manual work. They're built for it, have you noticed? That's why they've got such short little hair. It doesn't get in their eyes when they're working. I must tell you about this tipping. I said to Sheila, don't tip, Maisie. Do not give her a tip. You see, they've got such a low standard of living, they wouldn't know, you know, they don't need any extra money. And if you give it to them, they'll only spend it. So, Sheila, you're not going to believe. Sheila said she'd like to buy Maisie a wardrobe. And so, a wardrobe, I asked her. I said, now, look, first of all, hanging her clothes on a nail in the wall gives them a jolly good airing. And said that she's got her daughter and a baby grandson staying with her at the moment. I said, now look, if she had a wardrobe, there wouldn't be enough floor space for them to sleep on. I must tell you, having her daughter to stay was quite illegal. Quite illegal, you see, because although her daughter was actually born in Johannesburg, she still needs an official pass to say she can stay there. Well, now that seems perfectly reasonable to me. I mean, good heavens, look, suppose everybody born in, say, the Middlesex Hospital decided, of course, they were born in it, they live in it. But did I report her to the authorities and collect 100 rand? I did not. I ignored the whole situation. I pretended it wasn't happening. And perhaps that's the best bit of advice I can give you, British, when you come to our wonderful country. Just ignore the whole situation. That way you'll really enjoy your visit. I mean, that's what we South Africans do, and we're still enjoying ours.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is this the Department of Stealth and Total Obscurity?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'd like to register.
Register what?
Register, please.
I don't think you quite understand. What would you like to register?
I'd like to register myself as a Wally, officially.
Name?
Simon.
Simon what?
Simon, please.
Now, Mr. Please, yes. I'm going to have to ask you a few questions of a personal nature to see if you qualify for Wally Aid, all right?
Yes, thank you.
Can you recall anyone having been nice to you over the past year?
No, I don't think so.
Good. What's your favourite drink?
Cider. No, lager and... No, it's cider.
Where did you buy your sandals?
British Home Stores.
And, what's your ambition? Excellent. How did you get here today, Mr. Please?
Well, I took the Green Line bus for 3 stops on my Rover ticket. Then I had to wait half an hour for the District Line train to Upminster. So, I got the number 12 bus, changed into the Piccadilly line to come straight here. I would have got the number 12 all the way, of course, but I had to give up my seat to a young child and I fell out at the sharp corner at Marble Arch.
Fine. I think you do, in fact, qualify for Wally Aid. Here is your card.
Thank
You
you.
should keep it on your person at all time, and should you be involved in a serious road accident, the ambulance men will know not to hurry or make any undue effort. The card includes a 50% discount at Brentford Nylons.
Oh, that's useful.
10% discount off all Julio Iglesias singles.
Oh, great.
And your guide on how to get out of telephone boxes, OK?
Yeah, well, I know I am a Wally, but how do I not be a Wally? I mean, how do I be like Simon Bates or somebody like that?
I'll see what I can do.
I've always been unlucky. The other day, I peeled a banana and it was empty.
It was 4 a.m. when they first came. Standing on the flight deck, I watched the hillocks around Port Darwin expectantly and waited for the wave to come, and come it did. Hugging the contours of the landscape, swooping low over our 3 ships grouped in the harbour, the HMS Brilliant, the HMS Invincible, and the HMS Sodding Unstoppable. I remember in the confusion the calming, resonant voice of the task force commander, Rear Admiral Sandy Woodward, over the tannoy. Run for it. Naval estimates put the number of Argentinian aircraft at 54, and certainly I counted 6. But the landing continued, and as we moved across the rocky Celtic terrain, we came across the wrecked and dilapidated remains of an islander's cottage. He was standing outside with his 3 children. "Thank God you've come," he said, and there was a tremble in his voice. You've been shelling us for a week. Further on, we encountered 3 solitary sheep. They were grazing on a hillside. All of them supported United Nations Resolution 502 and openly condemned the unprovoked Argentinian aggression. We ate them.
Oh, Mary Lou, I'm still in love with you. Though you are dead and gone, I know you will be true, Mary Lou. I walked up to your house, the pink split level one with the green shutters and the 45 Chevy in the drive, and I knocked on your door. Your mama came, still in her day-gone apron, even though it was 4. I said, your daughter stood me up at the prom. Is she there? She said,
Oh, sure, Ricky. She's upstairs. Doing the hair.
oh, Mary Lou, I'm still in love with you. Though you are dead and gone, I know you will be true, Mary Lou. I walked up all 3 stairs. 3 stairs because it was a split-level house, you see. Well, I could tell where you were. Why, the whir of the hairdryer. And I knocked on your door. I knocked 3 times on your door. You couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear me over the noise. I opened the door, oh, so carefully, and I shouted your sweet name. You didn't answer. You didn't answer to my call. I went for the plug, and I pulled it out of the wall. Short circuit, you blew up. Short circuit, I watched as your nylon teddy bear exploded in a massive, horrible yellow flame. Short circuit, your ghastly purple bedspread melted in a sticky mess all over the bedroom floor. Say, Ricky, whatever happened to Mary Lou? Well, cool it, Brian. I don't quite know how to put this with any degree of subtlety, but she snuffed it under the hairdryer. She did what? She blew up, she blew up, she blew up. Oh, Mary Lou, I'm still in love with you. Oh, though you are dead and gone, I know you will be true, Mary Lou. Oh, Mary Lou. I'm still in love, 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 Mary Lou. I'd now like to do my one-man version of the famous play by the famous playwright Oscar Wilde, Lady Windermere's Fan. Lady Windermere!
It is with heavy heart and trembling fingers that now I take up my pen to unfold to you all the tale of horror, strange, dreadful, incredible, yet true, that you are about to hear. It was early on the Wednesday after Rogation Sunday that Mrs. Miggs announced a visitor awaiting me in the rectory. I was at the font cleaning my teeth. Upon her announcement, I dressed quickly. First in the vestry, and then in the pantry. and I was just fixing my collar in the study when Mrs. Miggs ushered my visitor in. I recognized her at once. "Why, Mrs. Miggs," I cried. I jumped up, for the noble visitor she showed in was well known to me. While I had visited Lady Openshaw on many occasions up at Nondrip Hall, this was her first visit to my rectory. She looked interestedly about the room and its contents. Years of celibacy have left me pretty much to my own devices, and these she examined with evident curiosity. "Rector," she breathed, "I must ask you a question." She toyed nervously with her rings. Do you believe in the devil?" "My child, if you believe in heat, you must believe in cold. If you have light, you must have dark. If you have joy, you will have despair. If you have boys, you'll end up in court. For all good, there is evil." "Rector, it is my son. I believe he is possessed." Her words filled me with a nameless something. "Mr. Henslow, you must help. I've tried doctors and specialists all over the world. I've taken him to Nice, Margate, Saint-Tropez, Palm Beach. Rector, you're my last resort." She left only after eliciting from me a promise to visit her stricken son at the Hall that very evening. It was a fretful wait. At my age, one gets a trifle absent-minded, and I remember that day I went in the kitchen and ate in the lavatory. That evening, as the sun set slowly in the west, I strode towards the Hall, armed and ready for the great fight ahead of me. What a glorious midsummer's evening it was. I paused only to pick a buttercup. Why people leave buttocks lying around, I've no idea. One would have thought the stench of hell a million miles away from the mellow stone and ivied mullion windows of the great hall that dominated the peaceful Gloucestershire countryside. There is no older family in England than the Openshaws of Nondrip Hall, Nondrip, Gloss. I arrived shortly after 9. It was a large, rambling butler who took my coat and bade me wipe my feet on the vinyl mat before showing me to the library. Above me, I could smell the awful smell I knew so well, and hear the jumping rattle of the bed in the room above that could mean only one thing. "When will Sir John and Lady Openshaw be down?" At last, Lady Openshaw did arrive. "God bless you, Rector. Let us go at once." "Lady Openshaw, it is imperative that I go alone. What I am to do is not to be watched. I will, however, require a few things. A Bible and a length of rope, and I shall want some hot water and warm clothing for when the child recovers. Oh, and I shall need a stool. I believe I passed one in the corridor on my way in." I ascended the stairs. What words can describe the horror of the sight that met my eyes in the room at the end of that dark corridor? As the door swung open, I caught a glimpse of a writhing, naked child and averted my eyes. For 4 long and desperate hours, I struggled with the evil one for possession of the child's soul. The fiend tried every trick he knew, the bed rising from the ground, speaking in strange tongues, the torn pound note that reappears in a sealed envelope. But I would not be diverted from my task. Still I fought. And then, at last, as the sun began to dawn, suddenly the fight was over. With one last terrifying shriek of mortification and hate, the evil spirit flew from the boy's soul. Exhausted, naked, shivering, but at last victorious, I sank wearily down beside the rescued child. And that, Your Honor, concludes the case for my defense.
No, Rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien, comme un feuille, ni le mal, tout est bien égal. Non, rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est fait, balai, oublié. J'y mettais des bagages avec mes souvenirs. J'ai allumé le feu, mes chers aiment les plaisirs. Ben les bleus besoin de, ben les obreurs. Ben les protégeurs. Non, rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien, comme un feuille, ni le mal. Non, rien. Non, je ne regrette rien.
That was Cut Off at the Fringe, in which John Revell ran a supermarket and was Lady Windermere's fan, whilst the Cambridge Footlights visited Ceylon and Sri Lanka. Cantabile then sent a message to Presidents Reagan and Brezhnev, Sheila Steafel received a visit from her South African aunt, and the National Revue Company appealed on behalf of all the other Wallies in the world. The Durham University Revue then reported from the Falklands, the Bouncing Czecks warned of the perils of hairdryers, Stephen Fry performed an exorcism, and Fundation had no regrets. Cut Off at the Fringe was produced by Alan Nixon and Paul Mayhew Archer.
Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Oh, those weepers, how they hypnotize. Oh, where'd you get those eyes? Jeepers, creepers, peepers, weepers, where did you get those eyes?
Looking briefly ahead to next Monday evening on Radio 2, at 10 o'clock we'll be trying to answer the question, what's so funny about Liverpool? That's next Monday at 10 o'clock here on 2.
It's 11 o'clock. This is Paddy O'Byrne at the Radio 2 news desk. A group of armed gunmen are still holding about a dozen hostages at the Polish embassy in the Swiss capital, Bern. They're demanding, among other things, the end of martial law in Poland and say that if their demands aren't met, they'll blow up the embassy. One unconfirmed report says the Polish government have given the Swiss authorities the go-ahead to intervene. The Swiss anti-terrorist police have surrounded the embassy, and a Swiss government spokesman says it will now be up to the government to decide whether to send the police in. The gunmen seized the embassy this morning. Left-wing union leaders have suffered a setback on the opening day of the Trades Union Congress in Brighton. In a surprise vote, the conference has decided on a new way of electing members to its governing General Council. It will give the professional and white-collar unions a greater say. Also at Brighton, Mr. Tony Benn has delivered a speech supporting Mr. Michael Foot's leadership of the Labour Party. He called on members to rally round the party flag and insisted that there should be no expulsions from the party. The Turkish Foreign Ministry have claimed that Iraqi forces have sunk one of their ships outside the Gulf port of Bandar Khomeini in Iran. A statement from Ankara said a ship had gone down on Saturday after being hit by 3 missiles. 3 of her crew were killed and 3 injured. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh will greet the aircraft carrier Invincible when she returns to Portsmouth from the Falklands in 11 days' time. They'll go on board at Spithead and sail into port with Prince Andrew, who's a helicopter pilot on the ship. The QE2 is expected to resume her journey to New York tomorrow morning after returning to Falmouth Bay earlier this evening. The Cunard liner developed engine trouble shortly after passing Land's End. The liner only recently returned to Britain from the Falklands. England cricketer Ian Botham took to the air today in an aerobatic display. He joined the Red Arrows in a series of high-level loops over Gloucestershire. And that's all from the news until our next news at midnight. But now, tennis. And for news of today's matches at the US Open Championships in New York, we join Gerald Williams.
As the temperatures rose to the mid-80s, 2 more seeds have gone out today. In the 4th round of the men's singles, Kim Warwick of Australia beat the 9th seed Yannick Noah of France 5-7, 6-3, 7-5, 6-4, which earns Warwick a quarter-final against the winner of tonight's big floodlit match between Ivan Lendl and Mats Wilander. John McEnroe, by the way, who put out Matt Doyle 6-3, 6-4, 6-4, he gets a quarter-final against Gene Mayer, who's a 6-4, 6-2, 6-1 winner over Bob Lutz within the last hour. In the women's singles, Wendy Turnbull of Australia, the 6th seed, was a victim of the advance of America's kindergarten heroines. Gretchen Rush, who's 18 and graduated from high school early in June, beat her 6-3, 4-6, 6-2. And Gretchen Rush's quarterfinal is going to be against somebody who's even younger than she is, Andrea Jaeger, the 4th seed, who beat Kathy Rinaldi 6-1, 6-1. Martina Navratilova has beaten Andrea Lien 6-1, 6-2, and that gives Martina a quarterfinal against Pam Shriver.
Gerald Williams giving us the very latest from Flushing Meadow.